Hello. I know, I didn't do a video last week. I got really wrapped up in a project and I just was into it and just want to get it finished. So I did not do any videos last week at all. So, and I'm not going to be doing a video tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Harrisburg Comic Con and we're going there tomorrow. So it's a 2-day show. It's Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be doing Sunday only. So we'll be there most of the day, but I mean, well, not the entire day, but you know what I mean. So I won't be coming in here to do a video. So you're just getting one video. So we're a week behind on the signed comics I posted on X. Tomorrow I will be getting books signed by no other than Todd Nadok. I've got some Young Justice books I'm anxious to have him sign. So you'll be able to see them at the end of the year when I get to the Ys. So between Christmas and New Year's, I will be posting those on Twitter. So we are going to be doing, this is going to be week 33. I'm going to be talking about on the books that I posted on X or Twitter. And it's days 222 through 227. No day 228 because I screwed up and I didn't post one for that day. So, oh well. It just means if I end up a day, let's put it this way: if I get to 365 and it's still 2 days left in the year or a day left in the year, you'll know why. So I'll just use filler. So, and we had some technical difficulties today. I came in here and the light at my table was turned off, so I turned the bulb on and it was flickering. So I had to run over to the local hardware store and grab a new bulb. So we have a new bulb. So, and we're getting back onto this. I'm hoping to have this done today. So today with talking to you guys, hopefully I'll have this done. I don't think I'll have the sheet done, so I'll wrap that up next time I see you guys when I do my next video. I've been working on the bottom panel. And it's been going well. I mean, you take a look at the bottom panel here and focusing on him, you can see where I'm really framing it up. So, got down here I did. So, then I was working on the girl. So, it's coming along good. I'm enjoying it. It's coming out the way I want it to. So, taking another look there. So, but again, you can really see where I'm starting to get the bricks in up here, and because of the bricks in up here, you're really getting that sense, and because I'm hitting so much tone, you're going to really get the sense that the light source is coming from here. So 222, day 222, that was the Rand Thangar War Special. This was just before they did Final Crisis. And this was one of those where, like, they are now investigating, I guess the war's kind of been over, and they're now investigating why the one planet went out of orbit. And at the very end, they discover a set of handprints, and it turns out that Superboy Prime was the one that was told and instructed to by Lex Luthor, or Lex Prime, if you will. He's the one who pushed the moon out of orbit, and they discovered that there was a set of handprints in the planet. So, and this was signed by Dave Gibbons. He wrote it, and then we have the stellar art team of Ivan Reyes and Joe Prado. And remember, this was before they became the big powerhouse art team that we knew from like New 52 and Brightest Day and Blackest Night. In fact, Joe Prado, if I remember correctly, Joe Prado wasn't inking Ivan at this point. He was doing pages. So both of the guys were doing pages, and then later on, it was when Joe Prado started inking Ivan that he almost became the exclusive print inker for Ivan. So, but I enjoyed it. I have enjoyed all the work that those two guys have done together. Although I have to say, I've been very impressed with Danny Meeke's artwork or pencil or inks over Ivan with Hyde Street. It's been going on great. I really have been enjoying that book. That's one of my favorite books right now. It basically comes down to what if Jeff Johns was doing the Vertigo universe? And this is what he came up with. So, and I've actually started following them on Twitter, so I'll be anxious to interact with the other Ghost Machine fans on Twitter with Hyde Street. And Rook is coming out soon. Issue number 7, the series picks up right where I left off. So, with the artwork by Jason Fabok, and of course the story being done by Jeff Johns. So, but now getting back to day 223, Ray number 1. This was signed by Christopher Priest, who was the writer of the series. This was I liked the design of this character, and along with just him. It's like it started off with a 4-issue miniseries, and then after the 4-issue miniseries, it was popular enough that they went in and did a regular series. So this was first issue of the regular series, signed by Christopher Priest. So it's nice to have that signed. Then after that, we go into day 224, Red Lantern's Future End, issue number 1. It was like a special, or a 1 issue, or a one-off, and signed by Jim California. Now, I enjoyed this book because it was just like a one-off story. It was kind of it's in many ways, a lot of these Future End stories were almost done almost like what ifs, which was kind of like first of all, I thought that the Future End story was garbage. When I remember when the first issue came out, it was like issue 0 was a free comic book day, and Ethan Van Sciver actually did the story and the artwork, and you get him with his hyper detailed artwork, and it's like, wow, this looks really cool. Then you pick up issue number 1, and the artwork was shit. So you look at it and go, why? And I remember, and I was like, why bother? Why? So I got this one, and it was an interesting one. What was is they'd already established that Guy Gardner became a Red Lantern. And in this Future End here, Guy Gardner is a Blue Lantern. And Blue Lanterns are like peace and tranquil, which is like kind of like weird for Guy Gardner to be this type of a character. And what he was basically doing is he was using the Blue Lantern ring to free aliens and beings that were being tortured by the Red Lanterns, by the Red Rings. And he was freeing them. And it was an unusual story, but at the same time also it was kind of neat. It was only, like I said, it was like pretty much like a what if. And I didn't mind it at all. So, and then of course we followed that up with day 225. Day 225 was Red Lantern number 34. This is during the time when they weren't using Atrocitus. I can't remember if something had happened to Atrocitus or what, but the main character in the series was Guy Gardner having a red ring, and you know how like the rage and the spitting up, spewing blood. I have to say, I enjoyed it because it was one of those where it's like, it showed that the Red Lanterns weren't necessarily evil. It was just like the red rage, and like how to function when you are when you're being enveloped with such rage. And so it was an interesting concept. I will be honest with you, where it also worked for me was because we'd gotten to the point, and we still have the same problem with today that we had then, which is too many human Red Lanterns. What are we up to? Like 8 now? I mean, it's just one of those where it's ridiculous. And I like the fact that they had Guy Gardner was no longer a Red Lantern. Or no longer a Green Lantern. He was a Red Lantern. And I found that to be interesting and different, but at the same time also, it was fitting of the character because he was always like cocky and not caring what others thought. And it didn't have where he was just like a monster, like, I'm rage. I mean, they actually had him like interacting with like Ice Maiden, and he was still like trying to like maintain that relationship he had with her, which again, it's one of those where it's like, this is a good it was almost like a natural progression of the character. And I would have liked to have seen more where they did more with the spectrum of the rings, with like Kyle being the White Lantern, Guy Gardner was the Red Lantern. I would like to have seen more like Simon Baez. Maybe make him a Orange Lantern. You know what I'm saying? Jessica Biel, or whatever, the girl who had the lantern symbol over her eye. Maybe she becomes a Purple Lantern. Who knows? Or Indigo. It's just like I said. It was like they were going. You could tell, like, hey, this is cool what they're doing, but you can tell also they haven't done anything with the color spectrum at all, which makes me wonder if that's intentional because of, let's just say, the conduct of the creator of the emotional spectrum, that they don't want that to become popular, because last thing they want is to have to use that in a TV show or a movie and then pay out to that person. So, I don't know. Might be wrong, might be right. Who knows? But I did like what they were doing with Guy Gardner with this. And so it's really like this issue being signed by Charles Soule and Jim Calafiore. So, and then after that we go to day 226, the return of Donna Troy. Now, I don't remember. I do remember this series, and they're basically like rebooting Donna Troy. I remember they had some type of event or whatever where Donna Troy was killed. And I remember when they did it in the comic books, my first response was big deal, they're going to reboot her. And sure enough, less than 2 months or 3 months later, they do this book. So for me, it was one of those where it's like, this was one of those books where it's like, you've got Phil Jimenez doing the story, you have Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, who signed it, doing the pencils, and you had George Perez doing the inks. And I remember the editor, I was having this signed by Jose, and his former editor of this book was sitting at his table, and he joked, he goes, oh, I remember that. I joked, he goes, yes, that was the book that I said I got the Three Amigos. This was my Three Amigos title, because those guys all being Hispanic. And so I found that kind of humorous. I was like, yeah, I got the Three Amigos. And I, as much as I was kind of like, no big deal. She's being rebooted. Story was good. You could tell that Phil Jimenez was doing his research about the Titans. In fact, this was almost, you could say, it took a lot of elements from the Who is Donna Troy series, or story arc, that reunited George Perez and Marv Wolfman. And then after that, and then of course Jose doing the artwork, which was astounding, and pulled in a lot of the characters, almost all the characters from both the Teen Titans and the Outsiders for the story, and then of course George Perez doing the inks. So I mean, let's put it this way: I thought the concept was kind of like, oh great, they're rebooting Donna Troy. But like I said, I just remember like they killed her off, and even when they killed her off, it's like they're bringing her back, and sure enough, not even a year later, they're doing this series. So while the series itself and all was stupid, or I should say the purpose, I should say, it was stupid, I liked the story. I liked the artwork immensely. So, and this is one of those books where I do look at it every once in a while. I look at it more for the artwork. Story, like I said, story-wise, it's not that great, but me being an artwork guy, yeah. I mean, I thought it was very good. So, but, and remember, when I'm doing this, reason why I'm putting all the knots in these spaces is I'm really wanting to convey that this is a hut. This isn't a hut. It's at winter time, and all of the cold air is getting into the house. And so that's the reason why I'm putting so much emphasis into how there's splits in the boards, because they're slaves. They don't have the ability to get all the wood milled so it fits up nicely and tightly. And they don't have the materials to then fill in the holes. They don't have a plaster. Maybe at the most they would have put mud on, but that would have been flaked off by now. So, and because remember, I could put like mud splotches and whatnot, but that is getting away from the story. The whole point of the story is these are slaves in their slave quarters, and it's wintertime, and they don't have. They're just doing what they can to keep warm. That's the reason why I have like that's the reason why all the kids are bundled together close. So they're using body heat to keep warm. And they've got a meager blanket with holes and whatnot in it. So I might actually put some more holes on the blanket. I don't know. So we'll find out. So I'm having fun doing this. So, but then of course, I'm also going much heavy. That's the reason why I'm using the used up nib, so I can get some really heavy dots and lines. So that way, visually, it'll be darker on this side of the page because of that. So, but, and then of course we go to after the return of Donna Troy. We have day 227, Robin Annual number 2, signed by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And remember, this was during the Bloodbath or Blood Hunters annual, where they had all of these aliens that feed off of human spinal fluid, and some of them come back as superheroes. And I liked it, and so I did a lot. And so I've had quite a few of these signed. Whenever the opportunity to get one signed, I will. So that's the reason why I shared this one with you guys. So, plus also, it's, even though Jose did not do the pencils, he just did the inks. Jose is a master, whether he's just inking or whether he is just penciling or he's doing both. He's just a master. So having this sign and then be able to look and knowing that Curran Dwyer, I believe it was the penciler, looking at his inks over this is just really, really nice. So, and then of course after this, we go into the final day of the week, because I was an idiot and I didn't post one for 228. And we have day 227, Robin. Oh, wait, no, that's next week. Oh, so the last one of this week was 227, Robin annual number 2. So, okay. So next week we'll be, or the next time I do a video, we'll be covering all the Robins that I posted. And the reason why the Robins I posted, I'll tell you when I do the video. So, but I enjoyed, every single one is like one of those, I did enjoy this Robin series that they did, that this annual is attached to. They really made Robin his own character, even though he was a sidekick to Batman, because they had done a lot of work with him, Tim Hunter, that even when he was on the as a sidekick character for the Batman book, they did a great deal of work to make him his own character, so he wasn't just a sidekick. It's one of the things I think that they faulted with the Red Hood, Jason Todd, was he really didn't have other than being a reckless character, he really didn't have any personality compared to Dick Grayson. And you can tell that they're really misfiring with it, which is the reason why they killed him off. So kept him dead for quite a few years, almost a full decade before they brought him back. So I enjoyed it. So, but no, this Tim Hunter, I've always enjoyed him as Robin. In my opinion, he's my Robin. And so, and this one with the, I think they were like Psy Rats or something like that. They were like basically, they were basically thieves. And they get attacked and they get their spinal fluid drained and they return with superhuman abilities. And they still are thieves, so Robin has to interact with them. So that's it for today, guys. Like I said, I'm probably not going to do a video tomorrow because of going to the Harrisburg show. So, and I'm probably going to finish this part. I'm going to finish that when I get done with the video here, and I'll save this part here for the next time I see you guys. That and the bricks. So, but guys, you have a great day. You know I'm having a great day. Just as last weekend I was having a great day. But you know what? Sometimes you don't have a great day. When you don't have a great day, guess what, guys? You just take it all one dot at a time.